Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Coffee Cast Professional Edition. We are going to be bringing to you game number 2 between EG's Idra and EG Puma. I am not casting alone. Once again, I have my wonderfully awesome co-caster, Sleepercells, with me.
Yes, I am indeed here once again to cast game number 2 between EG's Puma and EG's Idra. Of course, EG Puma spawning as the blue Terran here in the left-hand side-ish of MLG Metalopolis. His opponent, of course, EG Idra, Red Zerg, spawning close air to him. I'm super excited for this game because last game didn't exactly do much to sate our, like you said, our love for slaughter. I mean, EG Idra GGing before really any major confrontations go down at all. So I'm really hoping he stays in it for the duration here.
Indeed. Last game we saw Puma do a very nice mech build with Hellion, Thor, and a few Marines sprinkled in. And as soon as that moved out onto Idra's creep, Idra just GG'd. Puma didn't even have time to hit the third base on that game. So here we are on MLG Metalopolis. I know a lot of Zergs do like this map because it's easy to take the second and the third, and even when you're ready to, it's easy to take a fourth. You just kind of cut the map down the middle, and all is well.
Oh yeah, and another great thing about this map, of course, is you got a pretty much one-way ticket over here from your main to your opponent's main. Your Overlord gets to pop in there early, see exactly what's going on, and after that, later in the game, you get some mutas there fast as heck. It's really nice thing, little thing for the Zerg opposed to cross positions, because of course Blizzard finally fixed the fact that this map was broken and removed close positions.
Yes, thank goodness. Blizzard does occasionally listen to us. Now, if only we could get that name change implementation.
They occasionally listen to us 6 or 7 months later, somewhere around there.
It happens eventually, and that's what counts. We have Idra going hatch first once again in this game, just like he did last game, and dropping that pool right afterward. That is about halfway done. So, same old from both players. Very standard, boring early game.
Yeah, it looks like Puma's going to go ahead and do something similar as well. Of course, getting that one rack, shutting the door on Idra. Idra not able to get up into that base of Puma. Puma actually going to go ahead and fight it out here with the drone, and it looks like the drone's going to die for Idra. Puma got a 1-kill SCV, and he's going to go ahead and be bold, and he's going to use that one to go ahead and build that command center for that one Rax Fast Expand.
Indeed. Not wasting any time to pull down another SCV. And really, it shouldn't be too much of a bother unless Idra is really feeling particularly evil, I guess I would say today. We do have the expansion now already completed for Idra. So, a little bit of a lead, but that's pretty standard in TVZ. And really, anything versus Zerg. I mean, the Zerg is just going to have his base up before you do, pretty much no matter what you're going to do.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's going to be really, really gosh darn hard to get a Zerg to not have a little bit of an economic lead early on, unless you do some sort of crazy aggression. And it looks like Idra going to go ahead and be a bit bold here. He's going to go ahead and take a really quick third here. Actually, just very, very quickly after that pool finishes up, just now getting his gas. This is an extremely early third here, and these Marines might go ahead and catch Idra with his pants down. He's got nothing.
He doesn't have anything in the unit tab. We see 2 Zerglings and 2 Queens, and that is it. Now these Marines are starting to push in. The Spinecrawler is on the way. I don't think Puma knows about the third yet, otherwise he might have just moved up there out of the range of the Queens. Now moving up the ramp, he might catch sight of this. And yes, he does indeed. He's clicking right there, and oh my goodness, he did see it, but he decides to back out. Okay, I thought he completely missed that. So he does know about the third there, deciding to pull those Marines back and just kind of doing a little bit of stutter step, dancing the tango with Idra, and then falling back.
That was incredibly good queen control there from Idra, pulling down the queen from the main, getting that queen from the natural, and easily able to repel those Marines, taking pretty much actually no damage. Nothing died for Idra there, so that was extremely well done. The only downside, of course, being that third was scouted. I'm not sure there's too terribly much that Puma can do about it with this one Rax expanded.
No, the one Rax expand, obviously one Rax, not a very heavy pressure build. So EG's Idra is definitely going to have a nice economy lead in this early game. I wouldn't be surprised to see Puma do some sort of odd timing push, but either way, both players are just going to be happy with sitting back, I think, and macroing up a little bit, because obviously Zerg wants to be on that one base ahead, so Puma technically isn't quite behind in that right. It should be interesting to see if Puma decides to try to push out on this, or if he decides to stay back and go into a macro mode.
Yeah, knowing Idra, of course, he's going to prefer a lot of macro-based play over anything else, really. We do see Idra, of course, getting those roaches out. Blue Flame
hold
just
that
finishing.
thought. We do have Zerglings in the mineral line at the natural for EG Puma, able to take out a couple of SCVs, not too much damage, and it looks like a little bit of a misstep from Puma allows the Zerglings to live long enough to take down one more SCV.
Yeah, really good control there from Idra. Of course, Idra taking about a 10 supply lead at this point. Not too crazy. We saw a couple of Hellions move into the main of, or not the main, to the third of Idra. Didn't pretty much no damage here. Of course, because as I was saying, Idra went for earlier roaches here. Not even that many. He's got 3, maybe 4 on the field. I think that's 4 roaches on the field at the moment. But those are going to be able to deal with Hellions a lot easier than a group of Zerglings would have. And I feel like the earlier transition to roaches is going to help him out against this style of play that that Puma seems to favor.
Definitely. Now, Siege Tech just finishing up for EG's Puma, so it looks like we will be seeing some Siege Tank play in this game. And over at Idra's Natural, there's some pretty hefty oversaturation going on there. Now, finally, putting down second geyser at that Natural. But he probably could use to transfer some of those drones over to his third, maybe even back up to his main, as there isn't complete saturation at either of those bases. It's close, but it's not complete.
Minus the gas, I think he's actually got complete saturation everywhere, like perfectly, except of course that natural, because Idra is sitting at 63 drones here, which is quite a few drones on 3 bases. Wouldn't be surprised to see him take some sort of a 4th base, or at least get some sort of a Mac crash down. Drop in the main of Idra. Got a couple of Hellions in there. I don't believe they got any real damage done there. A lot of drones go ahead and pulled off. Maybe got 2 or 3. If we do look in the harvesters killed, there have been, of course, 6 drones killed here by Puma. So nice little drop there from him.
Definitely. It looks like Puma is now looking to take a third base as well. In the meantime, Idra's going to go up and scout for that third. It's not going to be there yet. That might throw him off a little bit, but knowing Idra's game sense, I kind of doubt that. He is actually going to see this command center down here on the low ground, so he will know what's going on. Zergling's going to try to move in, but there is a siege tank there. They are going to get nothing done.
He's going to go and run in the middle line. No, he goes ahead and turns around. You're right. Tank did scare him away there. But at this point, this is when a Zerg starts getting really, really scary. We do have Hellions, of course, in the third as well. Drones getting pulled, just sort of scattered about so that they don't get killed by one single Hellion blast. And that's going to be fended away by Idra. But like I was saying, this is when a Zerg gets very, very scary.
And the entire natural base of Idra is forced to be pulled as more Hellions are dropped down there. Now it looks like this Hellion, all the Hellions are getting cleaned up, and actually another Hellion coming in from the side, getting off a few shots. I don't know if he got too many drone kills in that engagement, though. He is actually up to 23 drones killed in this matchup. So I take that back. It looks like Puma's drop and multi-pronged harass with these Hellions definitely paying off.
That being said, though, this is one of those situations where you can lose 23 drones and still be ahead, as Idra sitting at 66 drones to the 54 SCVs of Puma. Idra just going to go ahead and he's okay to take a little bit of damage because he's just got so much economy right now. Taking a little bit of economy, still going to be in a little bit of a lead.
Indeed, 4th base going up for EG Idra now. Also sitting up at Puma's 3rd base, just to see when that does finally go down. This command center at Puma's 3rd, just sitting there, acting as partly a wall, dropping a couple mules. We do have Thors on the field once again. Spire just about to complete, so Puma will be well prepared for any muleless harass EG Idra is looking to do.
Yeah, if we do look at the production tab, of course, Spire just about to finish, so he is indeed planning on doing something along those lines. We do have a Viking trying to look around, spot any overlords, and possibly go for a little bit of overlord farms. But not spotting this one. They're sort of staring each other down across the vast space in the bottom left-hand corner. But there goes the Viking, just going to go and fly away and looking around for it.
Yeah, not too much to see down there. Weapons level 2 for those mechanical units. So this is looking a lot the same as last game from EG Puma. We do have roaches up in the 3rd base of Puma now, and the command center's lifted off. Absolutely nothing happened there. And I would expect that landed fairly shortly, as there is really no danger. A lot of roaches being made. A lot of roaches. There were just 15 on the production tab, now down to 11. There are 34 roaches on the field right now, and those are the only attacking units for Idra.
That being said, 34 roaches do a lot versus Hellions.
Especially when they are in overlords that have speed moving towards Puma's base. That could do a lot of damage, as I don't really know if there's anything over here to defend. If Idra drops in the right spot, there aren't even missile turrets to stop that. This could be rather nasty of Idra.
Now we have a couple Hellions sneaking in here to the third of Idra. Once again, although that is cleaned up very easily by those roaches here. I do not believe where those overlords go. Oh, they're in the main. Just sort of waiting. He hasn't dropped yet. There's quite a huge bit of black here that could definitely do a lot of damage.
Yeah,
a couple roaches moving into the third as well.
He's over the main base right now, dropping these off. Missile Thor's doing a little bit of damage. Meanwhile, up at the third, the refinery does go down, but there are 2 Thors to take care of that. Now roaches, a lot of roaches in the main. There are almost 24 roaches in the main, killing the siege tanks before they have a chance to siege up. Now the SCV's having to get into this engagement and start shooting. However, that is never a good situation. Now there are 4 siege tanks up on the high ground here, being able to blast away at those roaches. However, there were a lot of SCVs killed in that battle. Not as many as it might have seemed, actually, as it is 33 to 13 workers killed, still in favor of EG Puma. So that attack maybe not the most effective in the end.
Yeah, he got a couple supply depots, did a little bit of picking action, but what he also did is, you know those missile turrets that were right there protecting that factory and all these supply depots? Those are gone now, which means any sort of muta aggression could pop in here and do a decent little amount of damage to EG Puma. A little bit of a drop coming out as well. In response to the drop of Idra's, 2 Hellions will be dropped here in the main behind the smoke. Maybe try and do a little bit of damage.
Yes, they will. In the meantime, there are a lot of mutas on the field. I believe there are 21 mutas on the field, and a Hellion did spot that now up at Idra's 5th base. Idra now maxed out. And it looks like these Hellions are moving in, going to try to do a little bit of damage. They have roasted a couple of drones, but they won't be able to do too much damage, as there are roaches and mutalisks and queens right there to defend.
Idra actually slacking a bit here on the upgrades. He's still only 1-1 on his ground, and of course he's actually only 0-1 on those mutalisks. Whereas if we do look at the vehicle upgrades for EG's Puma, he's currently 0-2. Yeah, no, he is definitely 0-2 here, and those roaches not going to do much to this gold base.
No, they won't, but there are mutalisks up at the 3rd base, and they are actually almost able to snipe this command center, and now the command center does fall, and that's going to be really annoying for EG Puma, as Idra does have 5 bases up now. Now a little bit of Hellion aggression over at the 4th for EG Idra in response, and it almost is doing damage. There we go, now a few nice drone shots go down, and it looks like Puma, a very nice response to that mutalisk harass at his 3rd.
Yeah, he's gonna actually hit almost every single drone here at the 4th. Great little harassment there from Puma. That being said, Idra still maxed.
Still maxed indeed. When you're a Zerg and you have 5 and working on 6 bases, you can max up almost instantly, and there's really nothing the Terran can do about it except try to get a massive scary ball and push out with it. Now these mutalisks, so many mutalisks. There are 26 mutalisks on the field now, looking like they are getting set up to do a little bit of aggression into the main base, pushing up now. Oh, nope, stopping in that dead space. That's kind of an awkward spot. Oh, looks like he's rallying just a few extra mutalisks, as well as a lot of overlords full of roaches. So it looks like we will be seeing that roach drop once again with Mutalisk to back it up. However, Mutalisk not very good in a straight-up battle, especially if there are any Thors nearby. A lot of Vikings here to pick off those overlords as they drop the roaches, so a few roaches do die instantaneously. There are a lot of roaches and Mutalisk once again in the base, but there are the Thors. Thors are here, but the Mutalisk with a very nice magic box, and it looks like Idra might be in a little bit of trouble in this, Puma might be in a little bit of trouble in this battle.
Yeah, so many units going down. All the Thors have fallen. Vikings almost all down now as well. There they go, all taken out here. Mutalisk just doing so much damage here. The roaches have all been cleaned up, and now it's just tanks and SCVs, and that is not going to be able to deal with these Mutalisks. Mutalisks having free reign here over those tanks, taking out a lot of them.
Yes, they are. Now they're going to fly over to the natural of Puma and just start wailing away on these SCVs here. A lot of SCVs do fall to these Mutalisks.
Oh, wow.
This is just devastating for Puma. It's going to be very difficult to come back from this, as he is losing quite a few SCVs. Still at 61, but Idra at 75 and on 5 untouched bases.
Oh my God, what the hell just happened here? We jumping up to 75 workers killed for Puma. There were Hellions in the 4th and the 5th of EG's Idra, taking out almost every single drone in both of those bases.
But that being said, Idris still has 78 drones. He just remacroed those drones like absolutely nothing happened. There are still 20 Mutalisks on the field. Looks like he's keeping up that Mutalisk production, as well as Zerg Flyer Attack level 2 about to finish. Not quite free, as there are Thors there, and one volley does get off. Gets quite a few of the Mutalisks there, but not enough to kill them.
No, but definitely was able to save that command center, which is definitely very, very good here for Puma. He cannot afford to be losing command centers here. He's only really on 2 mining bases.
Yes, he is. And Idra currently has about a 20 supply lead in harvesters. Also, Idra almost maxed out, getting fairly close. And Puma about 50 supply down. There is another engagement here up at the third. Roaches and Mutalisks flying in. Thor's also there to defend against the Mutalisks, but there are Roaches just picking away at those Thors. Thor's targeting the Mutalisks, but it's not going to be quite enough for Idra once again to take out this base, as the entire mechanical army does stream in for EG's Puma.
A lot of mutas went down there as well for Idra, and Idra having a problem that a lot of Zergs do have at this particular stage in the game. He has a lot of minerals and almost no gas to speak of, so he's just going to go ahead and solve that problem by dropping 50 Zerglings here.
Hey, why not? If you have the resources to spend, you may as well spend them. Try to keep up a little bit of harassment. Zerglings do.
Looks like he dropped Zerglings in the main, like 4 of them.
It looks like you're right. It did cause Puma to pull his entire army back, but not too big of a deal. It looks like we have 3 more Roaches coming over now, but these Vikings there to defend against those 3 Roaches. I mean, I don't really know what Idra is thinking about doing with those.
I mean, it is a little bit of... No, Idra, those aren't Marauders. They don't kill buildings super ridiculously fast.
Indeed they don't. We do have a Mutalisk ball flying over to the third once again for EG Idra, able to take out one missile turret, going down for the second. The second missile turret has fallen, and now there are SCVs and mules here just waiting to be killed. Thor now on the map right there, able to get a couple shots off on those Mules. Those Mules only balled up a little bit, and now moving down to the natural expansion, those Thors are completely out of position. Now we do have a lot of Zerglings moving up. Puma's gonna have to split up his army to deal with both of these attacks.
Yeah, Thor's not exactly very good against Zerglings, to the point that it'll just take him a little bit of time to kill all these Zerglings, but they are all pretty much killed at this point. But every single SCV and every single mule in this third almost taken out as well. And it looks like the man center in the natural going to fall as well. Great multitasking here from Idra, really taxing EG Puma's multitasking, and Puma has dropped beneath 100 supply.
Yes, only momentarily, as he is back up to about 101 now. However, that is never a good situation to be in. And Idra's response, just make a lot of Roaches, because Puma is slowly being whittled down in this matchup. He only has 15 Harvesters left, so almost this entire supply count for Puma is his army. However, Idra maxed out once again, 100 supply about over Puma. This is a very nice position to be in as Idra.
That being said, this army for Puma, very, very powerful. Idra is getting caught a little bit with his pants down here, because all he's really got on the field are Mutalisks and this small group of Roaches. And if these Roaches are taken out, Mutalisks are not going to be able to deal with, I believe this is 4 Thors here. 5 Thors, actually. So, oh, wait, no, here's the rest of the Roaches. I see those. That's not going to be enough for Puma, unfortunately.
No, it is not, especially with 3 Broodlords morphing in. I don't think Idra minds losing this base as long as he gets those Broodlords up. Now a 4th one. If those Broodlords are allowed to finish untouched, it's going to be game for Puma. He just will not have anything to defend against that. Ghost would actually be ideal at this point in time for him, but he just does not have the income. Only 26 Harvesters at the 26-minute point. He just is not going to have enough.
Yeah, pretty much completely taken out here, which is very unfortunate for him. I mean, he's just been picked apart by Idra, being tasked in the multitasking. A hatch just dropping immediately in front of this army. He's just like, hey, you killed that base? I still got a lot of minerals. You kill this one too.
Yes.
Because he simply just got the army to deal with it. Muta's actually going to go ahead and swing around here as well, trying to just do a little bit more damage for Idra. All those Hellions do fall as well, except for about 3 of them do manage to skirt away. But, I mean, At this point, there's really not a lot to say. I mean,
Except that there are Mutalisks up in the third base right now, taking out the command center and all the SCVs there once again. And over at Idra's fourth, Puma just deciding to go for it, is able to destroy that hatchery in a matter of moments. Where is the army for Idra? He is not pushing out quite yet to come over, just waiting for those Broodlords. There are 7 Broodlords, I believe, on the way now.
There's 7 Broodlords on the field, 3 more on the way, and I think he's just going to wait for that army to get into position, and that's really going to be lights out. Idra can afford to lose a base. When these Broodlords hit, there's really not going to be a lot that Puma can do. Here come the Broodlords moving in almost perfectly timed with the rest of his army. Here come the Roaches. Couple good shots, though, coming out from the Thors. These Broodlords taking a lot of damage here before the rest of the army gets there for Idra. That was terrible Broodlord control. Unfortunately, for Puma, I'm not sure it's going to matter almost at all. There are enough Broodlords left and no more anti-air left on the field. So this is going to be perfectly fine for Idra. I would not be surprised to see a GG from Puma at any moment.
Indeed not. Now, I would like to mention Idra's Broodlord control. I've seen this happen time and time again for him. He just doesn't take care of them. I'm sorry, that's the only way to put it. He just kind of throws them. I swear he's just A-moving with those into the Thor line.
Well, I mean, you can A-move your Broodlords, but the problem with that army particularly was that they A-moved the Broodlords a little bit too soon, and they just took so many Thor shots that it wasn't even worth it. But here come the Broodlords, going to go and siege away at this gold base of Puma. Is really the last base standing for him. And those Broodlings going to go and get in the mineral line, and really there's nothing you can do against a lot of Broodlords with some Corruptor immunity control sieging this gold. And I mean, Puma's just trying to hang on. You got to admire his ability to never give up, never surrender. Mm-hmm. But he's pretty much out of army at this point, and I'm not sure there's. I really don't think there's anything you can do.
Yes, and this is why a lot of people do complain about late game Zerg on this map, is that actually if Idra had positioned his Broodlords right here, I know you can't see that, Sleepers, but if he put it in the gap right there, there's actually almost no way to stop them, because with, like you said, with a little bit of Mutalisk or Corruptor control, the Zerg can just siege that entire base. You can't bring Vikings in to kill it. And it looks like once again this planetary fortress is going to fall, and that will be the end. Roaches did come into the third base, look to do a little bit of damage, but we're not able to. The gold base does fall for EG's Puma, and now he really only has 1 mining expansion left on this map.
And that's not even mining all that much. He only has 15 SCVs still. He's got a couple of mules, but really he's got 2 command centers on the field right now. And to Idra's, I believe it's 8 hatcheries, somewhere right around there with the macro hatch. And just take a look at this this third. How many larvae are here?
That is a lot of larvae, Sleeper. That is 24 larvae. I think that's actually the max for a hatchery.
Yeah, I mean, there's really. Idra is sort of running out of minerals, but he's got plenty on this side if he got some of the drones.
Oh, and there's the GG from Puma. The GG finally being dropped, as Puma does drop down to 7 harvesters, 46 supply to Idra's 165. What would you say was kind of the big turning point in that game, Sleeper?
To be honest, the entire game after, of course, this is now 1-1, but it was really the entire point after. After the early harass, he had decent early harass, but Idra took that third early enough, so his economy was just able to survive the harassment that Puma did. Puma did excellent harass. If we do look at the Harvesters killed tab, I'm looking at that. He's killed 97 workers over the course of this game.
And most of those came before the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, most of those came way before the 20-minute mark. So, I mean, he definitely did a lot of economic damage, and he really did quite well. But unfortunately, he just let Idra macro up, and you really can't let Idra do that. You know, considering Idra's just an incredible macro player.
Indeed, I don't know if I've actually seen Idra lose a macro game that goes this late into the game. It's very intense. This is why we love Idra, because he is so good in this late game. Ladies and gentlemen,
he hits his stride, man.
Yes, he does. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coffee Break, and with me I have Sleepercells. We will be back with game number 3 between EG's Puma and EG's Idra. Don't go away. We will be back in just a few moments.
See you in a few, guys.